I'm Bert Russo. I'm not sure where to start, but I guess at the last meeting, two meetings ago, you went to executive session with the town attorney to discuss our case. One of the problems that we have as citizens of the town is that this is the only forum that we've got to address what we think are very real grievances about the behaviors of town employees who frankly don't deserve to be that. But that's another issue for another time. What my wife and I are concerned about, well, first of all, let me back up. The fact that you even took this up, we couldn't get anybody to listen to us for 7 years. The fact that this council took this up and at least started to look at this and find out what's going on below the radar, what has been going on for all this time, you should know how much we appreciate that, because it's the first time in 7 years that this has happened. So thank you. Here's the question we have. We understand the process that you had to go into this executive session, and you can't say anything about what went on in it. But our town council, our town attorney, who, as you know, we don't have a very high opinion of, had a one-on-one, however many minutes or hours she was in there with you. And we know full well what you heard from the town attorney. All you've gotten from us are these very stressful 2 or 3 minute sound bites that we get to have in front of you. There's been a lot of very, very bad behavior that you're now aware of that's gone on. And it's not just with us. Yeah. Imagine this, if you would, this scenario in 2005. What could have happened? We buy our house. 2 weeks later, we get this letter.
I'm going to have to interrupt you because really this is a matter of pending litigation. It's actually active litigation. We really can't discuss it. The council has no position on it. It's not the forum for it. You know.
I'm not talking about the details of that, sir. I'm just trying to talk about, this is about moral and ethical behavior of the people that we employ.
I understand what you're saying, but once you get into areas of that, you're actually in pending litigation. You have litigation ongoing.
We don't want it to be ongoing.
I understand, but it is. So we are not the body to address it.
All right, then I want to talk about the ongoing employment, then, of people that work for this town that have got no right to be working for this town. May I talk to that?
You need to be careful about you know, how you talk about individuals.
We have both a building commissioner and a town attorney who were very well aware of the fact that for 25 years, we told you the story before, 24 years, when these people, the Grovers, owned the house that we bought.
All right. Once more, I'm actually going to ask you to end right now because you're talking about issues which actually have been litigated or are pending in litigation. It's the same thing you've told us before. We just can't hear it. It's a matter of that is actually I'm understand is in the appeals court, and okay. We can't hear the facts on one side or the other. But I appreciate.
But you did.
Well.
But you did.
What? You have spoken a number of times. I've given you the opportunity. This body cannot respond. We should not be discussing these matters. I appreciate it.
Okay. Let me ask you one last question.
Go ahead.
We talk about the pyramid.
Yep.
And I'd like to believe that you believe in the pyramid. We, the people, are at the top of that pyramid. Where do we go to have our voice heard?
In the issue that you're talking about, you are where your voice will be heard. You are in the appeals court.
So we can no longer have a public forum where we can be...
We can't discuss matters of litigation. This is not the forum for it. I appreciate it.
Can we talk about employment then in the future?
You know something, this body, to discuss the character or the performance of individuals, employees, one way or another, that has to be a matter of, there's a host of ways that has to be done. and it would not be appropriate for us to be doing job evaluations, performance evaluations by this committee. Now, you may have your own opinions, but this council won't be doing that in public.
So there's a process by which we can file a complaint?
I imagine you could file a complaint anytime you want.
Jessica, again, thank you for the help you've tried to provide, and to the other councilors who I know have reached out and at least tried to understand what's been going on here for the last 7 years. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. President, through you, a question. We had two different individuals tonight kind of ask a question that maybe we can clarify, or maybe next meeting we can get some answers on. If someone from the general public has an issue with an employee of the town through a specific department, is there a mechanism that exists right now for someone to file a grievance or a complaint against that individual employee? And secondly, if a member of the town community public feels as though a member of a town-appointed board has wronged them in some way, or done something wrong that they want to file a grievance or a complaint in, is there a mechanism or a conduit in place for either one of those two?
We will get concerns raised by individuals about how they may have been treated by a public employee, and those will come across my desk. I always deal with the director or manager of that individual, and always get back to the individual talking about how they may have been treated and what our response was to that interaction. If you're talking about someone who's in current litigation who is upset with the way that our town attorney has handled the case, I'd have to defer back to Bill Cole and others as to whether a citizen like that can file a grievance or some sort of complaint, and how we would have to handle that. I haven't had that issue, come before me during my tenure, but I'll certainly look into it and get back to you and see if there's a process like that.
And maybe to you, Mr. President, if there isn't one that exists for any of our boards, maybe we might look into it. If there is, maybe we can make it more public so people can understand, because there was just a point in time where someone was, like, well, where do I go to just file a complaint, about a particular employee? I mean, whether it's has any validity or not, at least there should be a conduit.
Every board and commission has a chair. I would think that would be the first step, and then we can, if it needs to go beyond the chair, I'd have to talk to HR to figure out exactly how that works, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm exposing here is that it seems to be, no one really knows. Where